Hey everyone, it's Tony here. Today we're going to go over a general analysis of an INFJ, and I'll be using Liam Neeson as an example for that. But more specifically, we'll be looking at a video interview of him after he finished shooting the movie Batman Begins from Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. And so many people forget how good this movie actually is because, let's just be honest, it was pretty much eclipsed by The Dark Knight. But still, it was really well made. At least that's my opinion. As far as the interview, Liam was born in 1952, which would make him around 53 when this video was shot. And that's important not only because he's an A-list Hollywood actor who's very skilled at playing different characters, but with age, a person becomes more developed in terms of the cognitive functions, so they can be a bit harder to type. And even though he hides it well, I still truly believe he's an INFJ. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the interview.
Liam, I would like to know from all the offers that you get, why did you choose to do this one, Batman Begins?
I love the script. For me, it's always about the script. And I wasn't exactly a big Batman fan. Haven't seen the previous films, but this material was, I thought, just exceptional. Convincingly tells the story of how a character, Bruce Wayne, would end up dressing up in a weird, funky costume to fight crime. And he tells it in Chris Nolan tells it in this very, very rich and very textured way.
So if you've watched my INTJ video with Ivana, you should see a similarity here right away. Meaning that when it comes to scripts, NI-DOMs, they'll typically look at them and they'll try to understand what the story as a whole is trying to say, the bigger picture and the meaning behind it. Again, they'll generally be interested in the script's symbolism, allegory, metaphors, truth, how it all comes together as a whole.
He's, yeah, every director's different, it's true, but Christopher has he's quite laid back. He's meticulously prepared, which is very important. And he loves your input. He loves the actor's input, you know. And unlike a lot of directors, he stands beside the camera when they're shooting a scene. He's not in some back room watching a bank of monitors. So I like that a lot. He's watching you with the naked eye, you know. Because I think he sees something very special in him. And I think he sees someone who's prepared to go through anything to get what he wants. And that's an energy he spots, and he feels he can use that and train it and make it more special.
If you pay close attention, you'll notice how even though this interview is supposed to be about Liam, he'll tend to very subtly redirect the attention away from himself and his own role, and instead he'll draw the focus on others who came together and made the film work. Especially Christopher Nolan, because, well, he's the director and the one who made it possible. And he wants to give credit where credit's due. I mean, this should be obvious, right? So, yeah, this is an INFJ thing, but more specifically, it's a trait that resonates strongly with extroverted feeling, like a recognition of group effort and teamwork kind of a thing. And as far as those insights about Nolan he just gave at the end of the clip, like that's more NI, picking up on Nolan's energy and vision and how he uses it to tell the story.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's certainly a man of many cultures and quite mysterious, I think. He's gone through a journey himself, an emotional journey. Something has happened to him, but he's come out the other side and incredibly disciplined, I think. I know, well, I wouldn't have been in it for a start, you know, that's for sure. But I mean, Chris has got together this wonderful cast of actors, you know. It was just a joy to do it. I unfortunately didn't have any scenes with Michael Caine or Morgan Freeman or Gary Oldman for that matter, but most of my stuff was with Christian.
So just to clarify, he meant Christian Bale, and this is just more of the same of what I was saying before. Deep insights about Nolan's unique persona and his vision for the film, and a focus on the group efforts of the cast that came together and made the film possible as a team. And at the same time, he's diverting attention away from himself. So yeah, just NIFE.
We were in Iceland, yeah, for about 10 days, I think, at the start of the shoot. And Christian and I have this fight on this ice floe that was shot beside this huge glacier that kept moving every 5 or 6 inches every day. So it was quite intimidating and a little bit scary.
I'm not exactly sure what this next question was because it was cut out from the interview, but if I had to guess, it would have probably been something along the lines of, is the crime and corruption seen in the movie representative of our modern day society? Something like that.
Oh, I think you could read that into it, most certainly, sure. And, you know, the decadence of potential decadence of these multi-corporations that we read about every day, of various forms of corruption happening inside them, and insider trading and all the rest of it. And there certainly is a relevance, I think.
Judging by this outward FE facial expression that you see, I think it's very safe to say that he really liked that question, whatever it was. And he'd probably agree that, yeah, it is alluding to corruption in our modern day society and could very well represent that. Based on the cognitive stack, INFJs, they're usually drawn to things that have hidden intent, double meanings, things shrouded in mystery, basically things that aren't readily apparent in public. Again, just to get a better understanding of the bigger picture.
It's good to have heroes, isn't it? It's good to have heroes, but we can be inspired by them and be sort of led by them, but ultimately it's up to us to change society, you know. But it's nice to fantasize.
This is probably the most idealist NF thing that he says in the entire interview. And he's finally talking about something from his own perspective, which is nice. But yeah, it does sum up INFJs pretty well. Through the lens of the functions, we can look at it like First Slot and I, zooming out and looking at the world as a whole, seeing the bigger picture and the state of humanity and how the concept of the hero fits into that. And Second Slot FE, bringing it down, focusing on the altruistic values of a hero, how they affect the masses, if the idea of a hero is inherently good or bad, are they really needed, and that ultimately maybe it's just me and you that need to change society. But like Liam said, it's nice to fantasize.
Still trying to find out the reason for that. I just loved doing it, and especially in theatre work, I loved saying somebody else's words on a stage and being watched. There was something very, there was a great catharsis about it. Well, if it leads to other work, you know, which it's you know, that's where recognition comes in, especially in a town like Hollywood, you know, which is the center of the English-speaking cinema. So it can help, you know. No, not a role model, no, but I think, well, we all have to be responsible for our behavior, you know. But I don't get bugged that way by the public. It's never been an issue in my life, you know, and I've certainly never courted it. I do a lot of work with UNICEF in Ireland, and in fact, I'm going to Africa this August with Sarah Jessica Parker and myself to see firsthand what UNICEF are doing as regards AIDS, HIV transmission from mothers to their infants. And so yes, if your celebrity status can you know, can bring attention and awareness to causes like that,
then that's good, of course. But going back to the MBTI and the stereotypes that come along with it, it's really, really, really important to remember that they're just stereotypes and they're not always true. Everyone is different, and just because someone's an INFJ doesn't mean they're a good person. It doesn't mean they're going to be a philosopher, a mystic, or working in some soup kitchen or something. What it does mean is that they'll be prone to using certain cognitive functions in order to develop an understanding of themselves and the world around them. But anyways, I'm going to conclude here. I spent a long time looking for a good example of an INFJ to share with you, and this was the best one I could find. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe and all that, and let me know what you thought in the comments. Alright guys, take care for now.